You don't know. This is the recording, the third episode of King's Court. Trying a new kind of audio feed here, so to see how it play and if it come out any better than before. So this is our weekend show we're doing here now, talking about the latest current events and things that would affect young black people in Trinidad and Tobago and things are going on right now. Now, in the latest, apparently, what we have now with the unfortunate death of Andrea Barrett, which, I mean, this girl was still only 23 years old, and it just, to hear it, to listen to it, to see, getting more of the details now about why she was killed, who killed her, what was the reason, and I think what people saying is it looked like it was some criminal shot. But I mean, women have been disappearing from this country before, and unfortunately, it seemed like it not slowing down. I mean, there was a time growing up. I remember when you couldn't even hit a girl. Now we cutting them open like fish and taking the internal organs. I've said it before, and I'll say it again in this podcast. I do believe there is a human trafficking ring. It does exist in the country of Trinidad and Tobago. Yes, the beautiful island of Trinidad and Tobago now has a human trafficking ring that operates in the country. It is very much serious. It is very much real. And it is not a joke. It is real life thing going on here. This is no game. This is no joke. This is not a thing that is not this is not a game. This is very much serious. This is international we're talking about now. These girls are being targeted, killed, murdered, maimed. This is serious, you understand? And is very frightening to anybody. If somebody had a daughter or a girl child or anything like this is something that's going on, and it has been going on for far too long. I've always said, even I myself, I don't really back the death penalty too much. But I think that this getting out of hand now. I think that this country needs some kind of extreme example to shake it out of apathy. The word for today is apathy. I was looking at a fellow podcaster, you know, Johan Harry was talking about apathy what day ago was, and it struck a chord because he's absolutely right, because we reach a point where I think we become so desensitized to murder in this country that there's people now who just they don't really there's some. I'm not saying that nobody care. I mean, it's obvious people care about this young lady dying at the prime of her life, but there's some who just it's just another day, and they go on with the day. It doesn't really affect them. It doesn't really affect how their day goes. They don't really it doesn't shake them as much as it would shake somebody else. A lot of us, I think we've lost that. Every man is your neighbor, and it take a village to raise a child. I think we lost that a long time ago. Now is every man for himself. Nobody don't really care about nobody. And whatever happen. You understand? I wasn't involved in that. You understand? That is her business. That's not my business. That is his business. That's not my issue to deal with. You understand? So we have a very selfish, self-centered mentality in the country of Trinidad and Tobago. We don't really care about each other as we did. You understand? But I think it come from maybe losing morals or a lack of morality in the country. But even some people are saying that it's not even Trinidadians doing these crimes, which may hold some kind of stock if you research it and find out, because a lot of these killings are just way too gruesome. And I'm struggling to believe that my people, Trinidadian people, reach so low for a dollar that you have to kill an innocent girl, kidnap her, do all kind of immoral and horrific things just to get by, just to get by. You understand? There used to, even in the underworld, there was a certain level of a code, a conduct or something like that. But it appears that the code is no longer valid. You understand? And there's no longer the currency by which criminals or anybody does their business anymore. You know? They have been talking, and the Commissioner of Police, Gary Griffith, has been talking about legalizing pepper spray for these girls and thing. I think they passed it. I think it was a few days ago, which Honestly, I mean, we the celebrate things that should have been done years ago. And while I'm glad that it is here and that they have some means of defending themselves, unfortunately, I don't think that might be enough. I mean, I think maybe we might reach to the level where these girls might have to actually pick up arms, guns, artillery, some kind of weaponry, just a little derringer or some kind of thing to protect themselves out there. With these kind of psychopaths and these sick sadists that we have out there, anybody who has a daughter or has a little girl child has to feel what I'm gonna say. The nightmare that you have as a parent is to wake up one day and find out that your little girl, your daughter, your butler joy that you made is disappeared or dead somewhere. You understand? Because some coward with a gun thought it was right for him to take your daughter and torture the little girl to try to extort money from you or anything of the sort. So there has to have some kind of law, there has to have some kind of order on the land. The land itself has to have some kind of order. Now, the second thing I really want to talk about on this podcast episode is the COVID-19 vaccines. The vaccines that it seems split the country kind of in a two because they're telling you on the one hand that we have to take these vaccines, and this is the reason that we're taking the vaccines is so that the country is so that the COVID-19 numbers that they have in the country will go down, because once everybody vaccinated, the COVID-19 would actually be gone. But I've always found this virus, as they say, very strange, because they're telling you that, you know, if you could kill it with soap, or you could kill it with all these other things, and everybody coming up with their own little solution. In a foreign diaspora, you had the former president of America saying that you could use bleach to kill it, and all kind of shit, to be quite honest with all kind of stupidness and shit. But nobody talking, it seems, any kind of real viable sense. Nobody talking no real kind of viable sense in this country in terms of with this thing. And I find it strange that we, Trinidad and Tobago, a small island, end up getting it, and other countries that it seem more developed and, for lack of a better word, is first world, they have it too, but not at the kind of pace that we have it. Because when that come out, I suspect it will be a high level of rollout in this country with the COVID-19 vaccine, and it will probably go like the elderly. No, it will probably be, if we're talking about the distribution of the vaccine, it will probably be either the essentials, elderly, um, then it would probably be, because I think they're trying to open back sports now, where I think, which is strange, only I think 30 people could play football or some kind of thing like that. And it just seemed kind of weird to me personally what they're trying to do, what it is they're trying to kick off, because this whole thing, I mean, even with everything we talking movies, we talking everything, it really mash up a lot of things in people's life. And I think that we eager to get back to normality. We eager to get back to a normal kind of sensibility in this country. And it really working on a lot of people mental mind, people mind out here with this whole COVID-19 thing. It's not an easy thing to deal with, because you're locked up inside, you could only go to work, you can't go nowhere like we used to go. Carnival itself has been cancelled, as we know. This was the first time we didn't have Carnival. So it was a lot of things that happened. Christmas, if you remember, wasn't exactly Christmas. It was very dull, boring. It was half dead. It really wasn't the Trini Christmas that we over the years came to know and love. And it really destroyed a lot of things. There's a lot of people in this country who are very much frightened for the sake of the children, for their. It's not to say that I'm being a Debbie Downer, or trying to be depressed or not like that, but So this thing has to end. It has to stop at some point in time. We have to give them something to still have some sensibility and normality, because where we are right now in this country, I telling you, it seems like people just going totally, totally, totally insane. But anyway, enough about that. Continuing down the road, we're talking now about this whole new kind of right. Going down the road now. A bacchanal went on in Chase Village by four men. They got locked up there for possession of a firearm, ammunitions, anti-crime exercise. Yeah, got him. Got him. Understand? The strange thing is, most of them between the hours of 9 and I think, let me see here, 9 and midnight, some corporals ran up on them, caught them, arrested them, incarcerated them, put those silver bracelets on them, boy, locked them up for a gun. 19, no, sorry, my mistake, 29, 30, about 4, around that age range. Lock up them boy and them, had them incarcerated, had them inside in the chase. Went up there, took them. And, I mean, crime in this country, really and truly, out of control. But, I mean, what do you expect, really and truly? If there's no job, if there's no economical support for these youths and these guys out there, they're going to steal, they're going to rob, they're going to do what they do, they're going to do what they have to do to feed their families. Now, I'm not saying it's right, it's wrong, but that's the situation that we live in Trinidad and Tobago. But not just in Trinidad and Tobago, but in the world that going on now. You understand? These guys and them, I mean, crime is something going on for decades and decades. What I have always said and will always say on this podcast, hope and opportunity goes a very long way. Cutlass and gunshots could only go so far, because when a man really desperate, you could be the biggest, baddest, meanest police they have out there in the valley. He is not going to cower in fear you. He more afraid of not being able to feed his family than whatever you think you're going to do to him. And that's reality we're talking about there. Now, this podcast that I'm doing now, this third episode, is not going to be a very long one, because I tried out a new thing where I try to make these podcasts short, because I don't want to just be rambling like the last one. I want it to be short, concise, to the point, get these things out here. Really want to set up like a phone system in the near future where I could get callers, I could get people to call in. So from now on, most of these podcasts will be no longer, hold on, they're like 20 minutes. 20 minutes would be the max that I think I could just talk about these things. Maybe like 2 topics, last a 10 minutes each, glaze over these things here. Because, I don't want to, just be talking for the sense of just talking, right? Trying to get in tune with the latest news and really what really going on. Now, Prime Minister Keith Rowley, Director General for the World Health Authority, who, Dr. and everyone can that, have co-authored a co-op which has been published in CNN. That's right, Trinidad and Tobago, we finally reached the big time. We're in CNN with the vaccine. Together, they've made call to the global community for the equal distribution of COVID-19 vaccines. According to the authors, not enough doses exist to meet global demand. That means that they don't have enough injections for everybody, and not everybody want to take the injections, but that's a whole different story right there. Not everybody want the injection, not everybody want to get injected with this virus, which religiously people believe have something to do with the mark of the beast, the Sahara dust that we've been seeing all over the place. It's a very frightening time, very odd things going on. So, moving along. To date, richer countries with bigger budgets have stuck with by liberal ideas with the vaccine manufacturers, securing hundreds of billions of doses before other countries have a chance. That means they lock their thing down quick. They lock down all them vaccines one time. They ain't play no games. Those first world countries. They say, mine. They and they alone must have it. This has sent a worrying message that the health of those in developing countries is worth more than others in other parts of the world. Yeah, obvious. That's what they're basically saying. They're not playing games at all, yeah? You understand? They don't business what happened to the rest of all, yeah? As long as their people survive, they good. They don't care about all, yeah? On God, on everything. Moving along. Dr. Keith Rowley and the other doctor, long name, I can't pronounce that, added that the only way to defeat the pandemic is to ensure equal distributions of vaccines to the population in question. But we will not defeat the epidemic if the countries go it alone, meaning they're selfish, they want to have all the vaccines, no one else must have them, they must have them first. Typical greedy mentalities that, we've seen all over the world, all over the times, They don't really care about these third world countries like us, but first world countries, they want to lock down all the vaccines so nobody can have nothing. But some people would say that is a good thing, let them dead. It is clear that there's going to be a kind of power struggle going on with a lot of these vaccines that we see that going to be passing through the place. Is not like everybody gonna get an equal amount of it. A lot of countries gonna be fighting one another apparently for the right to have these vaccines in their country to secure their people. So this isn't gonna end well at all. It looks like this is going to be a lot of controversy, bacchanal, and total chaos and confusion. Now they say that Trinidad and Tobago, the government of Trinidad said, we want late in order in our vaccines. The government sought to clarify the series of of references that we were getting our vaccines in Trinidad late, but that is not the case, as they're saying here. The article says Trinidad and Tobago, they're listing Trinidad and Tobago as one of the countries late to order COVID-19 vaccines, which they're now clearing up is not true. Now, for those who don't know, the vaccine of itself was actually made in India. The Indian-made vaccine received the World Health Association, WHO's approval before reaching out to vaccination donations. In a statement Friday night, the Minister of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs said Trinidad and Tobago went so far as to, in its editorial, to openly that Trinidad and Tobago's decision to wait on the validation of the World Health Organization before exploring India's option seems unnecessary, quote unquote. The ministry said this is the unfortunate statement from a leading newspaper, and it is associated with repeated and constant references to lateness, tardiness in asking for the Indian-made vaccine for COVID-19. Well, we know where the thing come from, okay. It is said the reality is that a fundamental criteria of our public health sector in the provision of any vaccines to our national population is the approval of such vaccines by the World Health Organization. Such approval is deemed by our public health experts as essential to ensure that the administrative vaccines are both safe and effective, and this applies to all vaccines from any source of the world. Yeah, they have to be safe. I can't just give people things so I understand that part completely. Additionally, the Minister of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs stated in that late health officials have taken into consideration significant skepticism to the new COVID-19 vaccines by some members of the population. Yeah, people don't want to take it. People very, very nervous to take that vaccine. Some for religious reasons, some for reasons that some might find, a little odd, but still they're valid reasons all the same. The minister added that this is a matter of public record and that the vaccine has been manufactured by the Serum Institute of India, which achieved approval to the World Health Organization February the 15th, 2021. Oh, Papa, that's 5 days ago. The Minister of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs also dismisses claims that Trinidad and Tobago was tardy. No, we asked for we thing early. So that's the latest amount of affairs that have been going on. The Minister of the government of Trinidad and Tobago formally signed the commitment agreeing with the Overcox with Novatax, towards the inquisition of about 90 to what? But that is not enough. That is, man, if it's 1.5, some people not going to get that injection. That had to be the first dose, so they'll probably be ordering more, most definitely. They also have beliefs that the vaccine will begin to commence. We have also been in constant dialogue with the actual manufacturing range vaccines available since then. Since they've been asking for this since last year, October 2020. Well, boy, this is madness. This is madness. We will continue to be guided by the Minister of Health, as the ALSING, public health experts regarding the selection and timing of any purchases of any new vaccines. The population can rest assured the best decisions are being taken in the interest and health of the nation. What they're talking about there, the Minister of Health, which is Dr. Terence Dialsing. Well, wonders never cease. Well, ladies and gents, we could only hope that things work out the way it's supposed to work out, and everything work out the way it is, and everything is gravy, and hopefully these things can pass out and the country could actually be injected with this and we could see some kind of reduction in COVID-19. Until next time, this is your boy Holder, aka Sonny C. This is the King's Court.